Hello, hello. I know there weren't a whole lot of people on the live last week when we started the 7 Dwarfs. So I thought we would do the rest of them tonight. We did 3 the other night. We have 7 more. And since we started them the other night and we only did 3, I thought I would get a jump start on them and prepare the colors, some of the colors before we started. So I've kind of got a little jump start. Hi, Diana. Hi, Jimmy Lynn. Welcome, welcome. So when we started, I had my book that I got from Sassy Club that looks like this. This is like a little journal book. There's nothing on the inside of it. I should have started by saying this is Sandy, but most of you guys know that already from Doux Designs. And I am working on a book that has the colors that I used in order to color specific images. Hello, Laura. So when we started this last week, we were using 2 stamp sets. One is Enchanted Friends and looks like this. And the other one is Tiny Helpers, which looks like this. So these are from the Sassy Club. And this is a Sassy Club journal book. So inside this book, you can actually Copic color, any alcohol color actually. So I left the first page blank and this page blank because I want to do some decorating in there. But I went ahead and cut out the 3 that we had colored and put them in here the way that I want them to be. I wasn't sure when we did it last week how I wanted to set up this book, but I have since then figured it out. And what I did was I just cut out the images and stuck them in here. But tonight I wanted to show you that we can color directly in this book. So we don't have to cut out and, you know, make that. So what I do is I set up these grids and they have the name of the stamp company, the name of the stamp set, and then I just added Bashful so I would know which dwarf this is. And then I put bullet points down the side so I could put the colors that I use. That way, if I ever go back to color this, I will always have it. So I need this book actually to do speed coloring. Because if any of you have done speed coloring before, you don't have time to choose colors and decide what you're going to do while you're doing the coloring. You have to already have that ready and be ready to go. So that's what this book is for. So I can set up the speed coloring videos to start activating them again on TikTok and Instagram. Starting in January. So what I did tonight was I stamped this little guy in here, and then I got confused because I had put the wrong set in the package with the names, so I had to cover that up and we have to rewrite it. But basically I have these 2 Erin Condren markers that I was using to signify what was going on here. So this particular one right here is Sneezy, and he is part of the Tiny Helpers. So I'm just going to write that on here so I have it ready. This is Tiny Helpers, and this is my Sneezy. And then this one is Sleepy, and he is from Enchanted Friends. So we're going to write that one on here, Enchanted Friends. And this is just my own personal book, so mistakes or changes or whatever just are totally fine. I don't mind that because it's just my own personal book. You can set yours up any way you want because it's a bullet journal. So you can do whatever you want. Now, Doc is on the Tiny Helpers. I've already written it in here. So I'm going to take him out. I'm going to put him on my block that I got from Sassy Club. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay him on here where I want to stamp him. And I want to make sure that I don't have an issue with this part of the book. So I'm going to lay him on there and then I'm going to put him on the block. That way I don't have any issues stamping in here with this. So I'm going to use Memento because we are going to color this directly in the book. So I'm just going to use the Memento ink. And then I'm going to stamp him right here. So you don't want to rock the block or lift it up. You have to press it really good. Make sure you have it on there. Make sure you've pressed in all of the areas. And when you lift it up, it stamps perfectly inside this book. Hi, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. If someone could say hello, that would be great. I would know that I can see comments because sometimes I can't, and it's good to know if I can or can't. So I would greatly appreciate it. So that gets me 3 of them in here. And then I flip the page and I have a few others that I had already worked on that some colored, some not. But they have the name of the stamp set. And then I just put like what he's called. And it's still under Sassy Club. So we need to do Happy. And he is in here somewhere. He is in Tiny Helpers, so he's in this one. There he is. Isn't he just the cutest? Oh my goodness. It makes me happy just looking at him. I don't see any comments, so hopefully no one's commenting. I don't know. This one is on the edge of the book, so there's no problem with this part right here. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Laura. Merry Christmas. Hi, Sarah. So I'm going to put Happy in here as well. And then I'm going to show you the rest of what I've already prepared in this book. And I'm going to be using this book a lot, but most of it will be offline. We won't go through and color all of these in the book. We'll make cards and do all that fun stuff that we've been doing in the past. But I just wanted to show you this because I am in awe of this book. I love it. So I hold up the book like this so it's flat. You're working and watching. That's awesome. Hey, Taz. So I bring up the book so that it's flat on the table so it touches all the areas of the image, and then voila. So what you might wonder is what happens if it doesn't stamp right in there? Well, if that happened to me, I would just stamp on another piece of paper, cut it out, and put it on top. And it wouldn't ruin anything. It would still work just the same. So there's always a fix for everything. So don't be afraid to color directly in the book. If we mess it up, you can always redo it. And you can put it over and over and over as many times as you want. No problem at all. Hey, Deanne. I'm going to place this guy back in here. Now, if I wanted, I could decorate more around the outside. But for now, this is just a basic of what I'm trying to do with this book and what I'm going to be using it for. It also helps when you make a video. If someone comes back and says, you know, what color did you use for this or what color did you use for that? I'm pretty good at knowing what colors I used, but it'd be a lot better if I just already had it all written down for me. So I can come back and color this anytime I want, and I already know what the colors are. So you might wonder, where did I get all those cute little hearts and such? Well, Sassy Club has this as well. I'm really liking their stuff. So this is it's for a planner. It's hard to see unless I put it up against something, but it basically has, there we go. That's good. It has squares down the side, and then you can actually make a calendar with it. And then I used these as my bullet points, and I vary them throughout the book. It's made of acrylic, so it stands up pretty good to the test. And then you might wonder, what is this little this little hexagon shape circle on every one of them? And what that is each time I do this speed video and it's been done, I check it off. That way I can go through my book at any time and find one that I haven't done. Just kind of keeps track of everything for me. So tonight we're going to color these 4. It's going to be a little easier because the colors, they're similar from dwarf to dwarf. So some of them will have this color hat and that color shirt. And so it's pretty easy to pick the colors once you get started. Now I haven't gotten to the Go Banana guys yet, but I did do Garfield and Odie. And then on Tuesday, we did Wally and Eve. So I went ahead and added those in here. And then I have a few more. So there's stars on this one. And then I'm going to color these because people always want to know how to do white. I've done Mike before, so I added him. I have Snoopy. And then Pooh Bear and Goofy and some Wreck-It Ralph and Mario Brothers. I've already chosen their colors. I just haven't colored them in here yet. And then Yoshi, and then I added some from Doux Designs. So some of the images that I have drawn, I wanted to color those on a speed coloring video as well. So I added them in here. This one was too big to fit in a little block, so I decided to make these bigger blocks. And then some small ones again. And that's as far as I've gotten with this, but eventually this is going to be all full of, and it can be any images. I just started with Sassy Club because they're small and they fit in the squares really well. And, you know, the book is from them. So it also has this little tag that you can move wherever you want to save your page. I have it where the blank page is, so I know where to find it should I want to do that. So this one is Sneezy. Now, when we did this the other night, I showed that I had printed 2 copies of the Dwarfs from Google, just so I could get an idea of what color they are. So you can see that this is our Dopey. So he is fairly close in colors. This is our Grumpy. Same with him. This is our Bashful, and he matches this one. And now we're going to work on our Sneezy. So with Sneezy, he is this one right here. So his hat matches pretty close to Bashful's shirt. So I have pulled those colors out already. So what we're going to do is we're doing all of the skin tones the same. So all the dwarfs are going to have the same skin tone. If you look in here, they all look the same. Their noses are pink, their faces are colored, and whatever, and so forth. So I'm going to do them all in the same skin tone. So what we have used on all of them is E000 for the base coat, RV95 for the shadow, and then we did it E11 and E21, and then E00. That is the color we did. So since we have 3 of them right here open, we're just going to do all the skin tone at the same time. And we'll be adding the descriptions on here because we need to have them as well. But I will skip skin, nose, belt, buckle. But when we do outfit down here, that's when it's going to change. Everything else is going to be fairly the same. So I will write some of it in here, or I'll write it on a separate piece of paper and add it later. I don't want to make mistakes like this in my book. I can, but I don't have to. So we're going to try not to do that. So I've pulled some of those colors already, so I'm just going to lift those up a little bit so they're out of my way. And then I'm going to move the book up so I can zoom in so you can see just a little bit better while I'm coloring. So we're going to use our E000 to get started. And anybody, let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, you can color right in this book and it is not going to bleed through to the other side. So that is one thing I love about it. It is coloring paper. You don't have to put anything underneath the page. So it works pretty good. I love it. So like I said, these dwarfs I cut out and stuck in there, but these ones were coloring straight in there. And Garfield and Odie are also colored straight on this paper. And as you can see, you can't see any ghosting or anything through the pages. So it's pretty awesome. So if you ever wanted to make yourself a practice book, this is the route to go right here. And I know that she's still going to have these smaller ones, these smaller books like this for a while, and you'll really like it. Hi, Justine. We're going to go ahead and do all three of these guys skin tone at the same time. I mean, they're small enough. We can get it done. What I will tell you is that you don't want to oversaturate when you're coloring inside this book. I don't have a lot of problem with it, but if you're a heavy-handed, like to put a lot of color or 2 or 3 coats, you might have a little bit of bleeding problem. I don't, because I don't do that, but when I first started using the book, a different one of her books, I did that a lot. So you can just use the white gel pen if you go outside the lines to cover it up, or, you know, modify your picture, whatever you want to do, but practice will help. And like I said, you can always cut one out and put it over top if you're not happy with what you did inside the book. So don't be afraid to just go for it. I won't lie, I was a little bit nervous about just going for it in the book, but I decided it was going to be worth it, and I was just going to do it. Just go for it. RV95 is next. This is the shadow color, so I definitely want this in his mouth. I like to keep that part of their mouth really dark because it's inside their mouth, you know? So I usually do that. That one actually has black, so you don't have to worry about that, but this one also has his mouth open where you can see inside his mouth. I just think it makes it look a little bit more dimensional, and I really like that. So I'm going to put a bit of shadow around where the hat is. It takes a little practice to get used to coloring inside a book. I won't lie about that. But once you get used to it, it's no problem at all. So I'm just putting somewhere I want some of the darkest area to show up. His little cheeks are really big and sort of hanging down, so his little chubby cheeks. We're going to put a little shadow under there, a little bit on his hands. And then we're going to go over here and do this guy. We're going to put a little around his hat as well. Not too dark. I like to put a little under the chubby cheeks. It just makes them stand out a little bit more, and it's super cute. Around his hands. Again, these are the ones where I'm practicing before I do it on a speed coloring video. So, I know it won't be perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. Now, I forgot to do his eyelids, but I'm going to put a little bit of this dark on his eyelids because we want him to look really sleepy. He is the sleepy one. This is our Doc. He always looks really happy, too. I mean, he is Doc, and you can tell by his glasses, but he always looks really happy to me, too. And I like them when they're all happy like that. Dopey looks really happy too. It's super cute. Hi, Ruby. So the cheek color that we picked was R21 for all the other ones. I'm going to pull that out, but I don't know that I'm going to necessarily put that on all their cheeks because I don't want their cheeks to stand out too much. So this one doesn't have any of the pink on it, but this one does because he's bashful. He should have pink. But I'm going to pull that pink out just in case we need it. So the next color we're going to work with is E11, and that's where we're going to just go over the area where we put that darkest color, and we're going to start extending it out. I'm going to go all the way around. I know this is like the second color, but I feel like it needs that shadow to be pretty dark. So we're going to go around the whole thing with that. We're just kind of blending this part here. Go over his nose now. And then I'm going to put some in his mouth. We'll probably put the next color in his mouth too because we want to keep that pretty dark in there. So the more we layer it, the better we'll get. He's so cute. They're really, really cute. These images are so adorable. I just love them. And they're a quick color too. They go by kind of fast. You think they won't, but once you get started, you can really color these up pretty darn quick. We're going to put all of this on his eyelids. Now we're going to move down to Doux. Move this down. Now, normally when you do a regular person, when you color glasses, usually you try to keep them like a see-through color, but for Doux, they actually make them blue in the movie. Like he has blue glasses. I mean, it was a long time ago. Lenses, I mean, blue lenses. So maybe back then we had more color to our lenses, but so we're going to add blue to his. And then we're going to move to our E21. And we're going to do quite a bit more coverage with E21 because we only have one color left. And notice I'm skipping their noses because their noses are going to be pink, because that is the way they have them in the movie. They're all pink. Pink, pink, pink. Little pink noses. So if I haven't uploaded the first video on YouTube yet from the 7 Dwarfs before because I wanted to be able to upload it when I have all the dwarves done. So after the video tonight, we finish them all, then it will get uploaded to YouTube, both sections. But you can always see it in this group that you're watching me in right now, the fans of Doux Designs. And you can always go back and watch how we chose these colors for the skin tones and such, because I went through all the steps to get to that in great detail. We may do that with one of them tonight, but not on the skin tones that we already matched up last week. Because no, we don't need to go over them again. If you missed the video, you can always go catch the replay. I'll give you more detail at that point. I'll put a little bit right there. Okay, and we have one more color. Slippery little suckers here. The last color is E00. And that's where we're going to finish off the rest of his face and hands. This is just blending those colors in a little bit more. I may come in and do the inside of his mouth a little bit more to make it a little bit darker, because I like it to be significantly darker than the rest of the face. So we're going to finish now this one. So we're kind of doing several at a time. I don't normally do that, except that we had already pulled the colors. So I thought it would just be easier to finish them up all at the same time. Now this guy over here looks like he's a little bit too light in the cheeks. So you can see the lines from where I left off on the other color. So I'm just going to grab my E21 and do a tip to tip real quick and just kind of fill in a little bit more color in there, so that we can get rid of those lines. We need a little bit more color in here. That is not working, so let's try E11. Maybe we need a little bit more of E11. I think E11 is going to help. We'll let him dry and we'll come back to him. Maybe a second coat will be what we need. It's always a little bit different when you color with on different paper. So it doesn't matter what paper you're coloring, but when you switch, they just handle differently. Hi, Michelle. So I use the E11 just to kind of work that one out a little bit more. I'm going to come back up here, try to darken this just a little bit. I think I'm good with that. This one, quite a bit lighter. And I'm okay with that. They all don't look exactly the same. So I'm going to take my E21 and I'm going to go straight in there and get that color in there, because it just wasn't working with the tip to tip. Then we'll sweep over it again real quick with our E00. And that should do it up for us. Now, I'm going to take that RV95 that we talked about before. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Michelle. And we're going to go in here and deepen this part inside the mouth a bit more, because I like that to be significantly darker. Same thing on this one. I need that to be just a bit darker. So we're adding a second coat just to bring that out. And I think that's really important, because I think it looks a lot better like that. Okay, our next color, we're going to do the noses. So if we look up here, the ones we picked last week, stopping by to say hello, thank you. We picked RV42 and R21. So the RV42 is going to go along the bottom of each one of the noses. They all have pink noses. And we're going to do the tongues the same way. So this time I'm going to put it towards the back of the tongue. The darker color at the back of the tongue. Lighter color in the front. And then we're going to take our R21 and we're going to start from the top of the nose and blend into the RV42. That keeps from pulling the dark color into the light area. So that's why I started at the top and went down like that. Now we're going to start from the bottom and go back into the darker color on the tongue. And that way, they have cute little tongues and cute little noses. Okay, so we have those done. Again, same colors as these. Now, for the belts, they're also the same all the belts and buckles are exactly the same. So we need 9, 7, and 6 for the belt, and the buckle is Y26 and YR23. So we're now going to do that with each one of our little guys here. So C9, we're going to put a bit on the sides and put a bit in the center of that buckle and maybe along the bottom here. And then we're going to do that on all of them. So here, right in the center part, along here, and then along these side. And you can move this book around to color in just like you can a piece of paper. So don't be worried about that. You can certainly move it around. If you are left-handed, you can do your book the opposite way if you want. If you're left-handed and you don't want the center of the book to be there, you can do your book the other way. Entirely up to you. C7 is next. So I'm going to do around the outside of the belt on all 3 of them. So we're going to do it on this one. I got to hold my marker upright in order to get those small brush strokes. Filling in the center. And then we'll come in with the C6 and finish it off. So just a little sweep across there. You don't have to do a lot of blending. So it's pretty easy. It's just a little sweep of color. And then we have our gold buckles. So every one of them have a gold buckle, belt buckle. So we're going to start with Y26, which is a mustard color. So it's pretty dark. So I'm going to put it in opposite corners. And then we'll just finish it off with the last color. So a little bit up here and a little bit down here. And then this corner and this corner. And you can pick whichever corner you want. I'm just doing them all the same. And then we're going to use the YR23 to finish it off. Pretty easy and quick. Same with this one. And that gets our belt buckles done. Now we may need these colors again because we still have one more dwarf we have to do. But the next thing we have is outfit and hat. Now the outfits and the hats are different on all of them. The shoes are pretty much the same. And the beard is the same. So let's go ahead and do the beards so we can get them out of the way. So we're going to start with C3. Going to put that real close to his face. Up here in the corners. And then I'm just going to come off of his beard in a few different places just to show a bit like hair. I'm going to try to follow the shape of his face. So the little brush strokes will go in the angle of his little beard. Just like that. Hi, Sharon. And then we're going to go do this guy. So up close against his face. And then a little bit out towards his beard in the same angle as the beard is. So these are going to be a little bit longer. And since this little beard is significantly longer than the other one, I may do a few coming up from the bottom so that it fills in very nicely when we do it. So I'm going to do just a little bit from here. Not a lot, just a little bit. Hey, hey. This little guy, he also has a beard. They don't all have beards, but these particular 3 that we're working on right now, they definitely do. So this little guy right here has one. His hand's over his beard. So he's not as easy to just do straight lines. You kind of have to work that center part right there. So anyway, we have our C3 in there. And then we're going to use our C1. And basically what I'm going to do is go in between, or at least try to go in between where I put those last brush strokes. So not over top, but in between each one. It'll start blending that a little bit softer, which we need in this particular situation. So as you can see, it's kind of softening up that color a little bit. The last one will make it just perfect. So same thing here, trying to go in between. Not filling it all in because we have one more color to help blend that out with. But definitely trying to go in between each one. Don't have to be perfect at it, but just try. So this one out a little bit here and then in between here. Again, not where we put the original color, but just mixing it up. These guys are small enough. It's not that big of a deal how you decide to do it. You could just do it all one color if that makes you happy. I still like, even when they're small, to have details. So I do go through those steps to give them the detail I want to give them. C00 is our last color. So this one, I'm going to go from the bottom and just blend up into those colors. And I'm not lining it up or going in between anything. I'm just kind of going over all of it, getting any white space filled in. And then we have cute little beard. We're going to do that with all of these. So from the bottom, just washing that up, some from the top, just to get those colors to blend together. But don't do it too much, because you really want to be able to see those strands of hair you put in there. So don't blend it too much. It gives it personality if you leave the strands of hair in there. And I think that's kind of important. For me anyway. Entirely up to you. There we go. So now we have all of the beards colored. So next we're going to work on shoes, because all the shoes are the same as well. So on his shoes we used E44, 43, and 40 and E42. They all look the same. So we're just going to go ahead and start working with it. The way we did it before was around the edges here. And then underneath where it's folded over, and then along the back side and along the bottom of the foot, and anywhere it looks like it's folding in. We're just adding a little teeny bit of color to that. Just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing to each one of them. So around the edge, and then underneath, and then along the bottom, and anywhere they have it folded in. Now we're going to work on this little guy. It's pretty quick when you do them all at the same time, huh? So if you plan ahead and you know what colors you want to use, you could whip out 7 dwarfs pretty quick. Next one is E43. And we are coloring right in a book. So this one we're going to blend out from where we put that last color. And we're going to go around the outside, leaving just small areas for the last color. Because this is only a 3-color combination, so we are going to just roll with it. Gonna do the same thing with this one. There we go. These colors blend really nicely and super easy. So it's a good blend for these shoes. And honestly, it looks like them, so it's a good match. I'll show you the matchup here in a second as soon as I put the last color in, which is going to be E42. This one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time blending. Just going to add that color in there. Now, I don't want it to be too obvious. I really do, like, I'm okay with the highlight up here, but this part down here, I want to work those. I don't want that to show as a big spot on his shoe. So I'm going to work that little area just a little bit more than normal. Is the journal an art one? Yeah, this is the Sassy Club journal, and you can color in it. So that's why I like it so much. It's an art journal. It's a dot journal, so you can make it whatever you want. You know, you could make it for pictures, you could make it for images, but the cool part is you can color in it. And so mine is a coloring practice and a record of what colors I use on each image. So that's what I'm using mine for. But don't think, I loved it so much, I bought the other one too. So there's this one that's white. And then there's also a purple one, which I'm completely gaga over. It's the same, also dot bullet journal. Same thing, just purple, the Sassy Club. So I have the white one and the purple one, and they're different. I bought the different colors, got the different colors, so I would know which one is my practice book and which one's going to be whatever I decide with the other one. Okay, so now the boots are done. So we've done all the parts that remain the same throughout all the 7 dwarfs, and now we need to work on their outfits. All their outfits are different. So for... Oh, sorry, I yawned on that one. I'm so sorry. Okay, so for Sneezy, this is Sneezy right here. And this is what I'm using to see what they look like. So his glasses are blue. We'll be making his blue. And this is just a second version that I'm using to kind of keep those, make sure those colors are similar. So this is our Sneezy right here. So his hat matches this guy's shirt. So we can make his hat the same color as this shirt right here, which is YR24, YR23, and YR21. 24, 23, and 21. So I have those pulled out. You like the purple? Me too. It's my fave. So what we're going to do is we definitely want to, I mean, I know these are already logged up here, but this outfit and hat and such are not. So I'm going to pick the third bullet point down, and I'm just going to put the outfit. And then I say this is going to be the hat. So I'm going to say the hat is going to be my YR24, YR23, and my YR21. Because I want to have those logged because they don't match that up there. So I'm going to start with his hat with YR24. So I'm going to start down here, make sure I get myself some shadow in here. And then I'm going to go along this side and down by his beard, and then just curve it up underneath there. Now this one should have a little fold in it, so we're going to kind of put a little mark there that we'll work on, sort of shaping it into a hat. This is YR23, and we're going to just extend out from where we put that last color, and I'm going to go around his head, come off of that, and down here we're going to go up to that fold, start building that out, and go this way with the fold, but I'm going to leave a spot for the lightest color. I'm going to do this one slightly around the outside just so I get like a dark shade up there. And then we're going to come in with the YR21 and finish that off. So this is our YR21. Just kind of blend that together. Keeping some of that, I want some of that highlight to show up, so I'm not going to blend it too much. So I want you to be able to see those different areas really stand out. So I don't know if you can see that on camera as much, but you can tell it's significantly lighter right here and right around here. So that is his hat. Now we have to choose his shirt and his pants. So if we look at this picture right here, this red is like it's like a burgundy red. So I'm going to put over here his shirt and his pants, so we can get all of that part, hat, shirt, pants. We'll add the shoes below, but yeah. And when I do his belt and buckle, I'll add buttons, and we'll make his buttons, well, he doesn't even have any buttons, so we don't have to worry about that. The pants, I want to work on those first. So anytime I need a burgundy that's darker than a red, I try to use the R30s and the R50s. So I'm going to use R59, and then I'm going to use R37. That'll brighten it up a little bit, and R56 will bring it back to a more subtle burgundy. So let's see how close we get to that color. So the pants are going to be R59, R37, and R56. Let's see how close we get. It's a little area, so it's not really that bad, but I'm going to go up underneath his shirt, kind of along the edges of his pants with this darkest color, and I'm going to do the same thing on both sides, both pant legs. So that's our R59. Then we have R37. Start filling that one in, leaving a small space in the middle for that last color. And then our R56. This one's going to deepen that color back to burgundy versus red or pink. And then there we go. Look at how close those are to his pants. Pretty close. I like it. I think it's a good call. Shirt. For his shirt, my go-to thought is to use the E80 numbers. So we're going to actually use a piece of paper and blend this real quick to make sure it looks okay. So it pops in my head, E89. This is E89. And then E87. Still pretty dark. And then I'm going to come in with the E84, which I used earlier. And I think the E84 will be enough to really bring that to pretty darn close to that color. So I think we're going to stick with that. So we have E89, E87, and E84 for his shirt. And once we have that done, that should finish him up. So we're going to use 89 first, E89 first. I'm going to do some of this up underneath where his beard is and then close to his body. So up underneath that beard, close to his body, hit underside of his arm, and then I like to separate the hands since there's a black line there with the darkest color. And then even though his shirt is pretty straight, I'm still going to build these little bitty folds in his shirt anyway, just for some style. Yeah, let me know if you jump on and off and you have any questions. Can help you out. E87 is next. So I'm just going to go just extend out from where I put that last color. We only have 3 colors because these images are so tiny that that the second one is normally the one I do around the outside on. So I'm going to leave a little bit above his belt, but underneath his belt is going to be this darker color. That way I'll look like he has a belly. Just a little belly. On the outside, softening these folds a little bit. And then we're going to come in with the last color, which is E84. And we're going to finish that shirt off. So we're just going to blend out this area right here. Same thing here. Just kind of work on that back and forth. And then we're going to go above his belt. Let's see if I can get this in there real nice, so we don't change the color of the belt. There we go. And then we're just going to work this part right here. The whole rest of his shirt. It's going to be a little bit lighter down here, and I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with that. You can always do tip to tip if the color isn't blending quite as well as you want, or you can let it dry and put a second coat, and that will make it a shade darker. So up here is just slightly lighter than I wanted, so I just put a second coat on it and it filled it in really nice. So there are his clothes. They match super good. See if I can get the lighting right, but he sure looks a lot like, you know, that's our Sneezy. So our next one is Sleepy, and he's this one right here. So Sleepy is going to have a blue hat, which is the same as Bashful. See that? Oh, you can't see that. See? Their hats are the same. So Sneezy and Bashful have the same hat. So all I have to do is look over here at Bashful's hat, and I can do the hat the same way. So the hat that I had on Bashful was BG 78, 75, 72 with an overpaint of YG 45. And I'll show you why we chose to add YG 45 as we go through this. So this is BG 78, and we're going to go ahead and work on his hat a bit. I think we discovered the other day that I have the wrong ink in these markers. So I think I may have to do this a second time once I pull out the next marker, because I think I put 75 in the 78 and 78 in the 75, and I haven't gotten the new ones in yet. So this is supposed to be 75. It's supposed to be lighter, not darker. So I'm just going to go over where I put that original color, and then we'll come back in with that 78, even though it's number 75 in a minute. That was my bad. It happens sometimes. It's not fun when that happens, but it does happen. So now we're going to come back in with this one. Just know that this is the lighter of the two. This is more of the 75 than 78, even though it says it. And then 72 is the lightest one. So that's where we're going to blend this out. But when I originally picked these colors, when we were on the live last week, I believe it was last Thursday, when we finished, we were like, that's a little too blue. There needs to be just a little bit more green to that color. So it just was a little bit too blue and not enough green. So we decided to put a coat of YG 45 over top of it to change the color, and it seemed to work really well. So we're going to do that again. This is YG 45. And we're really just painting completely over top of all of the color that we put on his hat. And then I'll show you how much better that matches. It's a little darker than this one, but I like it. So as it dries, it'll dry a little bit lighter. So I'm good with that. Still the color I wanted. Now, Sleepy has this very strange, awkward shirt color. It's almost like an olive green, but very, very light. So it's going to take a little bit to figure out this color. So I know it's somewhere in the YG 90 area. So this one is 93. And it's a little bit more green than I wanted to go. So this one is YG 91. And that's way closer to the color I want. So I need one more color. The only one I can think of that's close to that is the E84. So I would start with E84, which does match. It's just a darker shade of that. And then even though we're going to pull in this YG 93 that's going to have a bit more of a green tone to it, if we go over that with YG 91, we'll get the color we're looking for. I think that's pretty close. We won't put quite as much of the dark colors in there, just so that we don't have any issues with that. I'm going to grab my multi-liner real quick so we can write in the colors so we don't forget what we colored. So again, I'm going to go down to my third bullet point, and that's where I'm going to put my outfit. First, we have the hat, which is the BG 78, BG 75, BG 72, and then I put optional YG 45. And then our shirt is the color we're working on right now, which we are going to do as E84, YG 93. I think we picked 93. Yeah, 93. Oh, 3. And then YG 91. Those are the three we're going to make the shirt. And then when we're done with that, we'll do the pants. And I don't know that color yet, so I'm not going to write anything in there. So here we go. This is our E84. So this is the one that's going to put the shadow color in there. So just up underneath his beard, just like we did before. I'm going to put a little bit right here where his arms overlap his belly. And then where his hands are over his belly. And I think with this one, I'm not going to do the folds. We're just going to, so we can see the difference. That way I'll know which one I want to do when I do the videos. Then we're going to go to our YG93. And this is going to blend out into more of a green. So we will be going over this YG93, the whole thing, with the last color. Because it'll bring it back to that olive color, from green to olive. So we're going around the outside with this one. And then we're going to come in with the YG91 and bring that back down to a more subtle green. Perfect. Love it. It's exactly what I was looking for. So I always test my colors on a scrap paper first, just so I can make sure it's the color that I want. Now the good thing is that this guy's pants right here are very close to this guy's pants, just a shade darker. So this is Bashful. Those are Bashful's pants. Sleepy's we want to be a little bit darker. So let's look at Bashful's. His are YR27, YR24, and YR14. So we need to get rid of the 14. We need to find something to go with this YR27. I think the 24 might be too light too. So we're going to try, let's see. Let's try some E colors because they have a little bit of a red to them. So this is E19. I almost think that's kind of perfect. This is E17. That one's not too bad either. And then this is the YR27 that brings a little bit more of that orange in. So I think that color is going to be right on target. So his pants are going to be E19, E17, and then YR27. Again, very, very small areas, so not really all that big of a deal if you don't get all the colors in there. Just make sure you get the color that makes it look closest to what you're trying to accomplish. Put a little thicker on the insides of his legs. So that's E19. And we have E17. We're just going to extend out from where that original color was, the darkest one, leaving a small space for the last one. So this one is YR27, and we're just going to kind of go over the whole thing real quick. Real light touch, very, very light touch. And we get that color, and I really like it. So now this is our Sleepy. This is our Sleepy. Pretty close. Very happy with that one. So now we have our Doc. And then we only have one more and we'll be done. So our Doc is over here. So I'll put him over here. It looks like his glasses are pretty close to Happy's pants. Well, we haven't done Happy yet, so that's not going to be helpful at this point. So his hat is really green, really olive green, much darker than this. So I would want to use that YG93, but not the 91. So let's see what happens if we put the YG95 in there. Maybe we'll get a better color for his hat. YG95, YG93. I think we're going to need that E84 again. Yep, we are probably right here in between this. Yep. So we're going to use YG95, then we're going to use E84, and then YG93. I'll show you how that works, but we need to do that. We need to write down what that is so I don't forget. So again, we're going to go to the outfit. And we're doing his hat first. So hat is going to be YG95, E84, and then YG93. And now we're going to do, now we're going to start his hat. So I'm going to use the YG95 first, and I'm going to do it up at the bottom and then around his head. Bottom down here and around his head. And then I'm going to come in with the E84, and because this is the second color, and there's only 3 colors, we have to go around the outside with this one. And then we're going to extend up from where we put the last color, leaving a little bit left for our highlight color, which I kind of want to just be on the top of his head. So YG93. So I'm going to go over the whole thing because this one has a lot more of a green color in it, and we need that to mix with the other colors in order to get the best tone that we can get. So there we go. It's a little bit more green than I really wanted based on that, but I think I'm all right with it. I think it'll lighten up just a tad, and it'll look better once we put the pants and the shirt in there. So this shirt looks a lot like these pants. This one right here is Bashful. So this is Bashful's pants right there. So his pants are YR27, YR24, and YR14, but this is a more orange than that. So we kind of need to put, it's not quite as dark as this one. So I don't want to go with those E's. I want to go with the Y's. So YR27, maybe put YR18 somewhere in there. I think I definitely want that color. So let's do it YR27, YR18, and YR24. I hope that works. Let's try it. So this is the YR27. This is the YR18. And this is the YR24. So I think in working all 3 of those colors, we can get to that shade very easily. So let's put, this is his shirt. And we're gonna do YR27, YR18, and YR24. So time to get busy. I'm gonna go ahead and do his shirt. I need a little bit right up here at the top, then down at the bottom and around his arm, then under this arm, under his beard. Then we're going to go around the bottom. And it's just going to build a little bit of that fold in there. You don't really have to. That's kind of a personal preference. Some of them I am, some of them I'm not. So it's really kind of up to you which one you want to do. This is YR18. This is going to be really orange and really dark. So, a little bit darker than our last color. So you want to be careful not to wash all of that color out. We're going to blend with our last color, and it's going to all work out beautifully. I'm excited. I hope you are too. YR24. This one, we're going to go over all of it because this is going to tone that orange down. I like it. I like it. I like it. Get that nice blend going. There we go. I think that's pretty close. Happy with that. His pants are kind of a brownish color. They look a lot like this one, but lighter. We haven't done happy yet, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm just gonna wing it, and I think these pants have a little bit of that E17 and some of the E44 and maybe 42. We'll try that. Again, we're just jumping around, trying to use some of the same colors I used before. That E17 might be a little dark, and maybe I need, oh, that E44. That might be the better base color. Yeah, I'm not really happy with that. Let's try 74. Oh, much better. That's E74. I think we're still gonna need this, a little bit of this, maybe not E17. Let's try E13. So this was 74, this is 13. And let's see if we come in with 71. Is it gonna, will that fix it? Yeah, I think that might work. So let's try that. Not 100% on this color, but we're gonna try it anyway. I can always change my mind later because this is my test book where I practice all of my colors in. So if it's not quite right, I can change it the next time I color. So E74, E13, then E71. And then we need to figure out the blue for his glasses. So here we go, E74. Kind of doing it the same as I did the last pair of pants. They're pretty quick, not a lot to color. This is E13. This one kind of changes the color up just a bit. But we'll bring it back with the last one, which is E71. Back to that brownish color. There we go. I like it. You guys like it? This is Doc. I think that you might want to go for E45 and E41 maybe for these glasses. And we'll do the same thing with those pants. I think we're going to need a color between 45 and 41, and I normally like to use E52 in between those. So I'm going to use, for his glasses, I'm going to write this down because I need that to be on here. Glasses, we're going to use B45, B52, and B41. So 45 is just going to go along the bottom. Then 52 is going to go around the top and up from the bottom, leaving a small area for the lightest color, which is going to be B41, and we're just going to blend that in there. Just a little bit. I like that. It's got a nice blue color to it. Yay, you guys, we did 3. So I'll fill in those other numbers when I'm not live so you guys don't have to watch that. But we have one more, and that is happy. So sometimes when I'm coloring with these coloring in this book, if the pages like flip up like that, I have this magnet from the Glassboard Studios, and I mean, it holds it. It's pretty thick magnet, so I use that. So now, in looking at Happy, I'm going to put that other sheet because this is the only one I really need. Happy is, his clothes are similar to everybody else's. So what we're going to do first is get those skin tones in there, those cheeks in there, the belt in there, all the basic stuff that we did before. So we'll get that rolling real quick. So his base coat for his face is E000. We can put that in real quick. And I usually put that over the nose as well, even though we're making the nose pink. No, you can do it either way. It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, but this little guy is going to go by real fast. Next, we're going to use our RV95. If I can find it, I have all these markers all over my desk. There it is, hidden. RV95 is our shadow color, and it is going to go a little bit down his cheek and under his hat. We're going to put just a little bit under here, not too much, and a little bit underneath his nose. We'll be blending that out so it won't be so obvious on his nose, so don't worry about that. Tips of his hands and on his wrist. Next we have E11. I mean, and I'm just remembering these because these are the colors we used for all 7 dwarves and we're on the last one, so we should be able to remember after doing that many of them. Helps me remember that just a little bit. We'll go around his nose a little bit, around his face. Kind of start blending this out a bit with this E11. Next is going to be E21. Happy is really happy, so I think I am going to add some cheek color to this one. E21. Just going to start blending this color out. Finish the eyebrows, under the eyebrows, kind of up from there. And his lip. We're going to come in with a bit of that pink. So R21 is what we used for the cheeks, but I don't want to put a whole lot in there, but he is happy, so I want to give him a little bit of color in his cheeks. The last one will be E00, which will blend out those cheeky color in his cheeks. Kind of mixing up the rest of it as well. Blending it all out and together. Probably need a little bit more ink in this marker. I've been doing a lot of skin tones, so it could probably use a little bit. But I think I'm pretty good with that. I'm going to let it dry a little bit, probably hit it here again one more time, just to get that to blend out nicely. But it's a little bit wet right now, so I don't want to do that just yet. So I'm going to flip to the color of his nose, which is RV42. So we're going to do the bottom part of his nose and the back part of his tongue with this RV42. And then we bring the R21 back in. Top of his nose and the bottom of his mouth. Now, I forgot to do his hands, so I got to throw in those colors real quick. So E11 would be first. Then E21. Because you know, we can't forget his little hands. They're so cute. And then 00, E00. And that worked out nicely because I wanted to put a little bit more of this E00 up here on his face. So now's the perfect time to do that. I don't know what color his eyebrows are gray like his beard and stuff. So I'm going to move these markers out of the way so I don't get them mixed up. We want his beard and his hair to all be gray. So we're going to use the C3-1 and C00. So I'm going to put it at the base of those eyebrows. And then we're going to do just like we did before. I'm going to go around his face and just put some hair following the same shape of his face, the direction his hair is going. There we go. Then we're going to come in with C1, and we're going to go in between where we put that last color. So we're not going over the color we already put in there. We're just extending and going in between the area we did not put any color in. Starting to fill out his beard. And then I'm just going along this edge and pushing it up for his eyebrows. C00 is last. So I'm going to go from the bottom up, just like I did with all the other dwarfs. Bottom up, bottom up, and then top down on the eyebrows. And that gets me my gray. Now you can see his cheeks look a little bit brighter now. We need to do his belt, getting him back to the same colors that we used on all the other ones. So C9 and the edge. A little bit in the middle there and along the bottom. Then we're going to use C7. Anybody here still? Did I lose everybody? Did they fall asleep? Facebook doesn't show me if people are here or not. So I hope there's some of you still here. If not, if you're watching on the replay on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I really need to grow that YouTube channel. C6 is the last one. There we go. The belt is Y26 and YR23. So we're going to go ahead and get that color in here. Looking for that Y26. In just a second. A lot of markers on my desk. And Y26 is one of them somewhere. 87, 89. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. That's going to be the belt buckle. I just do 2 corners. It doesn't matter which ones. You pick whichever ones you want. Oh, yay. I'm glad you're here, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. It's always nice to know I'm not talking to myself. Then I fill out the rest of it with YR23. And the boots are the same on all of them. So it's E44, 43, and 42. And since this is the 7th one, I'm kind of going through it a little bit faster. But if you've been watching all the other ones, you'll know exactly what step is next because I talked through it on every single one of them. So along the bottom, underneath, the little boot, along the bottom, anywhere that it's folded. And I'm just whipping through right now. The shirt, the pants, and the hat will have to match colors. But the rest of this, they're the same color combinations on all of the little dwarfs. So if I was going to use them all on a card, I want them all to have some similarity, which is why I tend to use some of the same colors so that the colors mix and blend very well in a card. You don't want to use all random colors because then it just won't look right. You talk to yourself all the time and sometimes you need expert advice. There you go. Exactly. I hear you. I usually talk to Dale, but then sometimes he's not even in the room. So I'm just talking to myself. It just happens. Okay. Happy's hat. Maybe we could do Happy's pants first, since we just talked about what color they were from the glasses. We're going to use the same color. So let's start with his pants. So we're going to use the B45. And again, we're doing the pants the same way that we did it for every single one of them. A little bit from the inside, just a line on the outside and underneath his shirt. Then my Dan has selective hearing. Yeah, I think mine has selective hearing sometimes too. B52. I know that mine can hear like anybody's around the corner, not even in our house. But sometimes he doesn't hear me. B41 is the last color. So I would definitely call that selective. I could eventually get his attention, but you know. So I think the blue's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So now we have hat and shirt. I feel like his shirt is closest to maybe this one, but a bit darker. It looks a little bit more like a brown than an orange. So I wouldn't want anything really orange in there. So I think I may go back to like let's try the YR27. I'm going to actually test this one out because I'm not exactly sure which one I want to use. So let's try the YR27. It's a little bit on the orangey side, but if we bring in the E17, that might make it a little more brown. And then go back to the YR24. See if we like that. I kind of feel like we were there with these two, but this one might be a little bit too light. I think we're going to roll with it anyway. We might be all right. I'll just use more of the YR27 than I use, of the E17 than I use of the YR24. So let's do his outfit so we can remember what color. And what I was doing was the hat first, so I'm going to skip that because we haven't gotten to that yet. And then we usually do the shirt next, which we're going to do YR27, E17, and YR24. And then we'll do his pants, which I already did, so I don't need to write that down. That's it. We only have 2 steps left and we're done. YR27. So underneath the beard, just like before, underneath the beard. And again, you don't have to be really exact with these because they're so little that you can't really mess them up. People aren't going to be really looking that close at those details. So, plus they're not going to match them up to they just want to get the idea, and that's all they need. E17, I like to be pretty close to the colors, so that's just a me thing. There we go. I like this color. Might not be the exact color, but I like it. I think it looks good with those blue pants. Can't remember what color hat we're doing though. This guy, we're not going to put any folds in his shirt. He looks more like a little farmer guy. I don't know that he needs folds in his shirt. Last one, YR24. Well, hopefully this one won't lighten it up or orange it up too much, but we'll see. of like it. Kind of feels like some of my markers are getting a little sticky. Might be due for some maintenance going on here. I might do some tip to tip because I feel like this YR24 is just a little bit too light, that it isn't blending well with my other one. So see how you can see they're not blending quite as well as I want. So I'm going to take the E17 and sort of blend it with this YR23 and see if I can get a better, smoother look on this. It's better. You have to work it a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Probably better if you just do one clean sweep. Kind of blends that out really well. I'm gonna wipe off this marker because I don't want it to carry on any of that E17. But I'm pretty sure if we weighed this marker, it would need refilled. Okay, hat time. So he looks like he has two colors of shirts on. But he isn't drawn that way, so he got a brown shirt. His hat is going to have this yellowish color, which I think almost matches the gold in all of their stuff with just a little bit more brightness. So I think I'm going to switch to, I'm going to use the gold from the belt color. So that was the Y26, YR23, and then we'll bring in the YR21 to make it just a little bit lighter. And if we need it more yellow, we can bring in a different yellow color. But for now, I'm going to go with Y26, YR23, and YR21. If we need more yellow, we can add something to it. But for now, we're going to go with that. So I'm going to put a little bit of this here and a little bit around his face and the edge of his hat. And I'm also going to put a little bit of in there, kind of give him a little shape to his hat. YR23 is going to be next, and this one should bring it really bright, brighter yellow. I'll come this way. Kind of want to curl that hat just a little bit. I don't really know why. I just kind of am feeling that. I'm going to leave the top brim of this hat for that lighter color because I think that'll be cute. This is the YR21. It's a little bit of a cream color, so that's the part I'm a little bit concerned about, is that I wanted it to be a little bit more yellow. So I think what we might do is we may go over it. We'll do an overlay of maybe Y13, I think might be a good color. Let me see. Let me just do this real quick. This is 26, YR23, YR21. We're just trying to get this color down so I can see what this color looks like over top of it. Nope. I think we need something more like maybe Y32. Let's look at Y32. Nope, still cream color. I need a brighter Y. Let's try I need something more along the lines of this. We're going to do an overlay of Y35. It's not really changing the color too much. But it did make it a little bit more yellow. Not my favorite color. I'm going to try Y11 real quick. I don't know that it's really going to change it a whole lot. But this one helped. Because this one brightened it up a little bit. I like that better. Alright, so we're going to say that we want to do this one with an overlay of Y11, which is optional. And his pants were B45, 52, and B41. And there he is, all done up in his cuteness. Now, I usually use my white gel pen just to put in their eyes and such, but I want to wait on that because I want to do it with these ones in here because you can't really close the page until it dries. And this book, it needs just a little bit longer to dry than your regular paper. Also, I don't think that the eyes usually get as dark inside the book. So I like to go over them with the multi-liner because look at how much that made those stand out. So I definitely like to add that. You can tell, look at this, and then look at it like this. It just really makes it pop. And then we'll just put the whites in the eyes when that dries up a little bit more. So this is my book. I hope that you guys will start one of your own where you log your colors and keep track of what colors you're using. It also gives you an idea of looking back at what you colored before. Will you be posting on Facebook group the color combos you used, ordered the whole new release? I wasn't going to post a picture of this, but it is in the video, but I can definitely send it to you if you want it. I don't mind at all. Some of them have colors, some of them don't, but most of them have been done a video. I haven't done these yet, but they will be. They're coming up. But if you want the colors of these, I don't mind sharing that. I do put every color that I use on in the details in the YouTube video. So in the description of the YouTube video, I do put them. Here, I'll give it to you again. Ready? Screenshot now. This is Dopey and Grumpy. This is Bashful, Sneezy, Sleepy, and Doc. And I know they're not all written on here, but it's because the skin, the nose, the belt, the buckle, the beard are all the same on all of them. So you have the colors up here. And then the last one is Happy. And if you take a snapshot of this one, you'll get Funny Cat and the Lasagna Odie too. But yeah, so that is my book. It started. I will be filling it in, and when I get way far into it, I will be showing it to you guys again sometime. Hopefully somebody will definitely do the same thing. Do your practice. Get your book going. This is a great reference guide. Everybody needs one. This is mine. I hope you guys like it. I hope you had fun. You can see this one we colored on regular paper and we glued it in there. And these ones we colored right on the page and they're super cute. It works out really nicely. So if you've ever been looking for a book that you can color in, this is from the Sassy Club and I love it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope that you will join me again. Next Tuesday will be the next one. I'm live on Tuesday and Thursday. at 8:30 Central. So come join me. We do something different every time. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Good night.